remotes. She just want a nigga to fuck and to come in the throat. Knowing I'm reckless as hell. When is it he does in the most? You send me a song to get on? Then know it's gonna come with the quote. I feel like the Reverend running the tub with the flow. Different fabrics on me. Niggas ain't had shit on me. Jim Scott and Brad them Brodies. Tim is the last big homie. Make you feel some type of way. No, that's Rich Homie. Quan.
Different fabrics on me, bitch, I drip like water. Feeling like a Carter. Yo, girl, right to prime, cause I've been ballin' like a starter. You think you go hard, we'll ask around, cause I go harder. They pay what I ask, cause nigga, no, I do not barter. Huh? Told me that I should work harder.
Glory days, huh?
Yeah, man.
What's cracking, everybody? Money Smart Guy Matt Sapaula here, hailing to you from Dallas, Texas, and in the studio today with a special guest, former Dallas Cowboys safety, 6th-round draft pick from the University of Central Michigan, born and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Welcome to the studio here, Mr. Kavon Frazier, man. Welcome to the show, big dog.
Man, I appreciate you having me, for real.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you. It's a blessing.
For sure, for
Big
sure.
blessing.
Kind of cool. I met you this time last year. It was during the NFL draft. It was draft night.
Yeah.
Was
it last year or the year before that?
I think it was last
It might have been last year.
Yeah, it was last year, man. And it's cool to see. I think I met Jamil Showers a year before. He's the former safety too, but quarterback.
He is. Yep.
And so 100%. I met him there at the Cowboys Club, and just the interesting connections we have there.
Yep.
At the Cowboys Club, where I get to live kind of vicariously through you guys, man. Because I'm a wannabe.
Yeah, man. The Cowboys Club a good spot, man.
Yeah.
They opened that thing up when. Right when I got to the Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah. So
no kidding.
And then I mean, you see it now.
16? No kidding.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure that was the first year, but now I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's gone nuts, huh?
Yeah, it's gotten crazy. Yeah.
That's Frisco. So, folks, if Kavon here was drafted in 2016, played there until 19, then went to the Miami Dolphins in 2020. Then we went to the Bengals, then the Raiders.
Yep.
So you've been around the league. You got some experience.
I got some experience, yeah. I did the little veteran bounce at the end of the career. 100%.
Yeah, but I mean, you play basketball too.
Basketball and track. Yep.
Yeah.
Those was my 3 sports in high school: football, basketball, track. Yep.
Nice. And you just naturally were better at football.
Yeah, and physically, right? Because basketball, I mean, you see these guys. I know y'all watching the playoffs, man. I went to the Mavs games and just watching them up close. I'm like, man, these are big dudes.
Large human beings, man.
Yeah. And people think us as football players is big dudes, but, you watch a basketball player, you see a basketball player, these dudes is like, the average is like 6'6".
Yeah.
So, God didn't bless me with that type of height. So, even playing point guard, I mean, you got point guards now that's 6'7". Luka played point guard. He's like 6'8" or something like that.
Who's that guy? How do you say his last name? Wayemba?
Oh, you talking about
from
Wemby?
San Antonio?
Yeah, Wemby.
Wemby, yeah.
I mean, he's 7 something?
Dribbling like he's a point guard.
Exactly. And I didn't have that. Like I didn't have the height. In track, I was fast, but I wasn't track fast, right? I was, I was one of the fastest people in my city, but when you branch out to Texas, Miami, right, and those type of places, now like my little 10-7 I ran, people running 10 twos or 10 flats in high school. So
in high school,
yeah. So honestly, man, football was the only sport that I had an offer, and I only had one offer. To Central Michigan University.
Really?
And it was the only
one recruiting offer.
Just one offer.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't have any D2s. I mean, I would have got some if I didn't commit so early, because I committed right before my senior year in high school. And I only had one offer.
What's that recruiting process like for a high school kid?
Yeah, man. So back then it was different, right? Because social media wasn't, like I think it was when social media was just starting to be introduced.
Yeah.
But in high school, we didn't have like the social media platform to have us go viral and pass our tapes around on social media and all that stuff. So back then, I mean, me being in the area in Grand Rapids, Michigan, we didn't have a lot of NFL players. So there wasn't like a lot of college recruiters recruited Grand Rapids. So
not a lot of scouts would be going out there.
Right. Yeah. Now it's completely different because I mean you can put something on social media and pass it around, and scouts will look at it,
go out there
coaches will look at it, right, and go find this player. But back then it was based off of where are you at, right? Mm-hmm. So Detroit back then got all of the like they were getting all the recognition for having good football players.
Gotcha. Not on the other side of the state.
Yeah, that's the east side of the state. You know, I'm on the west side of the state. So I was actually the first player from my high school to go play professional football.
Wow.
Yeah. And in our area, I think we went on like a 10-year drought without having, somebody make it that far.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we, since then, I think we had 2 or 3 NBA players, another NFL player, right?
Yeah.
But back then, I mean, like our area just wasn't being recognized like that. So it was going to different camps and different things like that, like the 7-on-7 camps. And when I went to the I went to the Michigan State one, that's when I met the Central Michigan coach. And then I went to the Central Michigan one.
So he got in his radar.
And then they offered me at the Central Michigan camp. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were having cigars about a couple months ago, and there's some notable people that come out of Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
You got Mayweather come out of there.
Mayweather. You got Devin Booker.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up with Devin. I mean, we had a few players. Xavier Tillman. He played on he played on Boston. Now he was with Memphis for a while.
Yeah. And some famous rich people are in Grand Rapids too as well, right?
Yeah, the DeVos family is from GR.
Oh, yeah, DeVos, Amway.
The Amway.
Wow.
The Meyer family, that's a big grocery store. That's like our Tom Thumb or Kroger.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Myers.
MEYERs. Oh, MEIR, right? So,
MEIJERS. I think that's what it is.
That's right.
Yep. And they're big.
Come out of Grand Rapids.
Yeah. They're big, right? And all these families went to my high school, right? So I grew up around people with a lot of wealth, right? I grew up exposed to it. We didn't have it, right? But I grew up exposed to those type of demographics of people.
Yeah, there's about fun fact here, since this is a 7-Figure Squad podcast. In Michigan, they're ranked number 12 in the entire United States of having the most millionaires in Michigan.
Yeah.
236,858 households are millionaires.
I believe it.
In Michigan.
I believe it, man. But it's crazy because it was a stat that came out a few years ago, and it said Grand Rapids was the number 1 place to raise a family.
Really?
But it was also like it was like third from the bottom in the place for Black families to live.
Really?
Right. Mm-hmm. So I mean that'll tell you how big the gap is in Grand Rapids. Especially, like I'm specifically talking about GR because that's what this stat was. It was city by city. It wasn't state by state. But that'll tell you how big the gap is in the cultural economics.
Let's talk about that. It is Financial Literacy Month. We're about to wrap it up, but we're talking about a guy like you. First time you ever made this. Anybody in your family played professional sports? Everybody.
Nope.
What's the highest income anybody in your family ever made?
I mean, legal money? I mean, back in the day, a lot of my uncles and stuff.
Running game, huh?
But, I mean.
You're the first one to make it.
Maybe
80,000. Yeah, you're the first one to make it.
Yeah.
Man. So what was it like for you for somebody that, because I was making $20,000 a year, coming out the Marine Corps, and I thought I was balling, $850 every 2 weeks in the military.
Right.
But here 100%. You are as a did you graduate as a senior, or did you go into NFL as a senior or a junior?
Yeah, no, I was a senior. But I was always the youngest person in my class because my birthday in August.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep. But I was
everybody's a year older than you, so you bulked up faster and you outgrew everybody still.
Yeah. I mean, it's genetics, man.
Right.
It's genetics.
So according to Over the Cap, the NFL's paid you decent amount of cash. Anytime I had Tommy Harris here, he was a defensive tackle for the Bears.
I know Tommy.
Yeah, you know Tommy. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So it's anytime you look at a contract, this player signed this contract, this player contract. he automatically says, look at it 50%.
Yeah.
Is that a good general rule for you?
Yeah, I mean, because the taxes, obviously.
Okay.
The taxes, yeah, I'm sure that was why he was telling you that.
Right.
Right. The
Agent
taxes is number
fees.
one. The agent fees is another big one. And then obviously like the maintenance of taking care of your business.
Yeah.
Right. Because as an NFL player, our body is our business.
Yeah.
Like we are our business.
For sure.
So, I mean, you got to take care of your business, you know, in the off season and in season. So it's got to be some money that go towards that too.
Yeah.
Like training, treatment. Right. And that's where like, that's another expense down the line. Yep. But he's about right. Take look at it for 50% for sure.
Because also I recall you on another podcast. You were always injury free until you hit the pros.
100%.
And then you had five surgeries in 5 years.
Yep. My first 5 years.
How did you? So what were some of these surgeries? What happened?
So my first one, I actually learned about it at the combine.
Your first injury?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was my foot. And I didn't even know. So I went to the combine, and at the combine, they do these big medical screenings, like these big medical screenings. And it's where they evaluate every single bone, every joint. I'm talking about
Jeez.
It kind of feel like some modern day slavery a little bit. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Because you got all these doctors that's cranking on all your, you know, everything, right?
Yeah. Tommy Harris said the same thing.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy, right? And at that examination, you know, they asked a bunch of questions. And one question, I didn't really answer it right. So now I try to give guys game on the questions that they're going to ask. That's what we do as a part of our business now, too, is giving them game on how to answer what questions, right, to avoid what I had to go through. And one of their questions they asked was about a turf toe, right? Everybody knows. I mean, turf toe can be major, but it's easily something that you can get over.
What's turf toe? Like you
turf
jam
toe,
the toe or something?
I mean, it's essentially it's usually in your big toe, and it's from cleats. Like I think that's the main. Yeah, it's from the cleats and on the turf and stuff like that. And it's like you sprain some ligaments in your big toe. I believe so, right? Don't quote me on that, but that's what I believe. We all just know it as turf toe.
Yeah.
And they asked me about it. I told them it was fine, but I did have it back in college. And they didn't know that I had it. It was like, yeah, you didn't have any other injuries, any turf toe or anything like that. And I was like, well, yeah, no, I did have turf toe because back then people tell me to tell the truth because chances are they probably already know. And that's true as well, too. But this one they didn't know. So they did a full screen on my foot. And throughout that screen, they saw a fracture in my fifth metatarsal bone.
You didn't know it.
I didn't even know, right? So after they found that fracture, I had to, like the whole first few days that I'm there, I'm in the hospital doing all these MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, seeing all these different doctors and stuff like that. And by the end of it, they told me that I couldn't run the 40-yard dash or do anything that involves me moving, right? So the only thing I can do is bench. So, I mean, obviously, you know, small city school or small city guy who made it to the combine, like that's one of your biggest dreams because you know that's the biggest interview. So it crushed me at the time. But that was my first injury. I found it out at the combine. Ended up playing that full season. So I did pro day at my school, killed it, then got drafted.
Even with a broken fractured foot.
Mm-hmm. And then I played the full first year, and then I had surgery on it at the end of the first year.
Wow.
Yeah, and they put a screw in my foot, so I had surgery on that. And then, I mean, after that, man, I had some cartilage damage in my knee, in my left knee. I tore my right lateral meniscus.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then I tore both my labrums on my shoulder.
What, tackling?
Yeah,
like,
tackling.
I mean, the way you're flying around the field there.
The first time it was in preseason, they popped it back in, I wrapped it up, and then I played the whole year with it. But then the next year I tore the pec on the same side.
Oh, is that the brace that they put on
they put the brace and then connected to the shoulder pads and stuff like that. Yeah, so I played with that the whole first year, and then the next year I ended up tearing my pec on the same side. And then a year after that, I went to the Dolphins and I dislocated my other shoulder. So yeah, I mean it's
just going in.
I mean it's 100% injury rate though. So I mean I didn't expect anything different. I was frustrated, right, getting all these injuries, right? I was frustrated, but I mean when people play in the NFL, you know what you're getting yourself into. Like, you know that you getting yourself. It's just like, you know, you in the Marines, right?
Yeah. We're going to get shot at.
Yeah. I mean, you know it's like life or death situations. Not as dramatic with football, life or death. I mean, in some cases maybe, but I mean, you know that there's chances are, you know, you're not going to make it through a season, a full season healthy. You're going to get hurt, right? You don't want those dramatic injuries to where you got to have surgery and sit out games and stuff like that. And in all of those surgeries, I didn't have to sit out games either.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean,
right back in it.
Yeah, I played through it.
Well, you know, kudos to you, man. 2016, that was the year you were drafted, right? 2016. So over 253 players were drafted, only 19 safeties, and you're one of them. So that's a pretty good deal, bro.
Man. It was a blessing.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, Carl Joseph, Von Bell, Keanu O'Neal. So you guys were with these guys.
Yeah,
working out. And
it was a good class.
Combine.
We had a good class. A lot of those guys is still playing in the league. A lot of those guys played a long time. So, I mean, we had a good draft class that year.
A lot of good safeties.
Yeah.
When you're looking at when you look at money, when I was talking to Ed Butowski and I were on a show called The Invested Life in 08, 09. And he did a series with ESPN called Broke, why NFL athletes go broke.
Yeah.
So,
I know Ed.
You know Ed? Oh, Ed was good stuff. And so, what do you think is the biggest leak when it comes to finances and NFL players and professional athletes?
You know, it's multiple different issues. One is the lifestyle. It's tough to keep up with that lifestyle, especially in the off season. They changed it now, so players get paid throughout the course of the year
instead of just during the season.
Right. I think throughout 30-something weeks the players get paid now. But when I was playing, it was only during the season, right? And I do like that. I do like the change. For some people, I wish it was like an opt-in, opt-out type of thing, though, instead of having it all mandatory. Just because players that is business savvy, right? I can go put my money in somewhere else and have my money growing. But I do like the change. But I think that's one reason why players go broke is because that lifestyle is hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up. Man, I know so many players that after our first year, they couldn't wait for the season to start because they was damn near broke going into the next year.
Yeah.
Right? So you blow $450,000 or $500,000, $600,000, you know, in the course of not even a full year because, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the guys like the NFL lifestyle, like you're exposed to so much that it's hard not to engage in it, right? Because all your peers is engaging in it.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of the veteran leaders. It may have changed now, but back when I was playing, even my last year, you know, I was like one of the odd mans out in the locker room because I wanted to talk to people about business and they wanted to talk about going out to the club or talk about this female, right?
Sure.
And that's just wasn't my focus at the time. Like my focus was trying to build wealth, right? Because I already went through the phase to where I wasn't on a team for like 10 weeks and I'm trying to figure it out. And then God blessed me with an opportunity. So my whole mindset completely shifted at that during my last year.
You appreciated the game and the opportunity a lot more.
Yeah.
When
you appreciate it
for two and a half months.
Yeah, you completely appreciate it, right? Yeah. And so I think that's one thing. I think the other thing is, you know, the financial advisor system is a little faulty, right? I would say that. Because how it works is these guys is NFLPA certified, right? Yeah. So anybody can, and I'm sure it's some standardizing that come with it to be able to pick the right people. But, you know, I've met advisors that was NFLPA certified, and I've had advisors, right, that was NFLPA certified. And the most that I'm getting is like 5% a year, right? You could put in the money market and get that, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. So my advisor now isn't NFLPA certified.
Outside,
right? Yeah, right. And yeah, I mean, he's an outside guy, but, you know, my returns is a lot higher, right? It's 3 times that amount.
Well,
right?
I mean, when I was applying for it, you know, it was just simply as you got $5,000 and we'll do a background check and you're in.
Right, exactly.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, and that's what they, and that's what they like. You know, and to me, it's a conflict of interest a little bit too, because you know, you guys, y'all not even making it a limited opportunity for people to get. So y'all not picking the best people. It's a cash grab, at you know, in a sense, in my opinion, right? So.
You got to be drafted into NFL, but you can't be drafted into the NFLPA advisor system.
Exactly.
I got you. Makes sense.
So I think that's a faulty operation as well too. And then I think it's many more things, man. Like, you know, you give, you know, a 20-year-old, you know,
the world.
Yeah, I mean, you give them access to a lot of different things, and $1 million while you at it. Yeah. Like, what you think he gonna do if he came from nothing?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
With no guidance, no real veterans teaching them, no mentorship program or nothing. I mean, y'all just handing them money and just like, hey, go figure everything else out on your own.
You know, Coach Prime was saying that, but now because of NIL. So how do you think NIL is affecting college players getting now legally paid in college? Because I think this is the first year that you had the record amount of juniors not going to the draft, and staying in as a senior to get that NIL cash flow too as well. So how do you think NIL is going to be affecting pro players getting to the NFL?
You know what, bro? I still haven't completely wrapped my head around the NIL, and I kind of refuse to spend time researching it and stuff like that, just because I know it's going to change. I know they have to regulate something, right?
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. So Javon Dexter Jr., he was because I'm from Chicago, so I'm watching the Bears. So they draft him from Florida. So he was offered by this financial company, basically they would front you cash.
Yeah.
And say you got an NIL deal. We'll give you $450 right now.
Yeah.
But in exchange, when you get to the league, 10% of whatever you earn in the NFL for the next 20 years is ours.
Yeah. I think it can be a lot of fraud that goes with that, and I think there's a part of it, man. I actually had a group approach me to get them players, right? Yeah. And their model was a little different, but, you know, I know some buddies of mine that had other groups approach them to get these high school, next college players and stuff like that. To offer them,
it's just not football. It's every sport. It's
right. But to offer them money now, but they get, you know, a large percentage of your contract.
Illegal contracts.
Yeah. And I'm like, that goes against, you know, my values.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna help out your company.
Sure.
Right. But I do think I think it's positives with the NIL. I think these guys is getting money sooner. Yeah. So they could be forced to learn about it, right?
Yeah.
I think they need to have some type of mentorship or some type of, like, kind of like the NFLPA is trying to do, but I don't think they're succeeding at that part of it around the finances.
Because you get the rookie talk, you get the rookie symposium, you get them talking about money at the rookie symposium, right?
Yeah, but how many people is really listening to that after you just get drafted to the NFL, like, and you just got out of practice and you got an hour and a half meeting right after practice? Like, we not engaged with that right now. You need somebody that's, I mean, you know, money, you need somebody that's truly trying to educate you day in and day out about what the real value of money is, right?
For sure.
But until you got that, I mean, like, those little meetings and stuff ain't gonna do nothing for a 20-year-old, you know, person that came from the streets or came from nothing.
How do you think because it also goes on both sides, right? So the player also has to listen.
100%. Right? 100%.
So how do you get more players to be more reasonable and willing to listen to that? And I mean, there's guys that were raised with the understanding what to do with it. Some guys like, yo, man, you know, money changes people in a very weird way sometimes. And, money exposes things. Yeah. You know, and you know, first thing everybody wants to do is take care of the people they love and care about, and rightfully should, right? Let me ask you this question: what was it? Did you have like a money dumb purchase that you had? I mean, for me, my money dumb purchase was buying 3 brand new cars, and I realized don't buy a brand new car.
Right. Man, I had many, Bro,
I had Hondas.
I went through a phase of clubbing, and I think that was like, it wasn't just one purchase. It was like a season.
Yeah, a season.
Like a season that was spread out to 2 years, 3 years to where.
Talk about it. So what made you recognize, like, yo, maybe this is not a good season to be in, or
right.
Did it? Because I went through that season too, on my budget level. I think a lot of guys go through that budget level to kind of validate themselves in a club, and you're living a life, and
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
What made it wear out for you?
You know what? It's changing the people that I was around. I think that was the biggest thing that to where I got to see clear, right? Because a lot of the people that I was around wasn't depositing into my life. They was only withdrawing. Yeah. So, that was the first thing that I had to do, was change the people that I hang around. Because once I did that, then I was able to see a lot more clear and see how much I'm spending on these things that, I got 20 people in the section, and they all mooching off of one person.
And they're looking at you like, we got another round of bottles?
Yeah, the tab come, even if we all agree to split the tab, we in Vegas, and this happened to me many times, and we all agree to split the tab come, okay, just pay it off, MOU, never get the Venmo, or the tab come, people go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And now we
Witness protection program.
Yeah, bro. So, but realizing, starting to get more mature, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, my wife helped me a lot, and my wife helped me realize. How
did you meet your wife?
A lot. I met her freshman year of college, actually. Yeah. It was before college started when I first met her. Now, we wasn't dating then, but we met at this party before. It was like a get together before college started. She was a cheerleader for Central Michigan, and I was a player. So we kind of had a little get together with some cheerleaders over and a few players over and stuff like that. And she was there. I wasn't necessarily talking to her. I don't think that we had like an interest of each other at the time. But then as that year went on, we started to get closer and grew a bond. Yeah. So
players, even at a college level, players and cheerleaders are somewhat close.
Yeah, at a college level, you closer than, the NFL, you can't talk to them really. Right. Yeah. Well, the cheerleaders isn't supposed to talk to us. Yeah. But college, at least at my school, we was close with our cheerleaders.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So what was the we want to know, bro? What was the pickup line?
She actually was coming at me.
Oh,
to
is
be
that
honest.
right? Okay.
Yeah, honestly.
She might be watching this.
Yeah, she knows. She we talk about this story all the time. She came in the cafeteria one day, and she was like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And I was like, "Who is you?" Everybody said, "Who are you? Where did we meet?" Or something like that. I said something like that, and she was like, just completely blown away after that. But then I seen her again at this little club that we used to go to back in Central, and that's when we just reconnected. And then we've been together ever since. I used to stay at her dorm. She used to make me sleep with my jeans on. Yeah, I'm literally wearing jeans.
Tell me why. I got it.
Because she didn't want. She wanted me to know that it wasn't nothing about to go down. It was like the first 5 months. Wow. I'm sleeping with my jeans on. Yeah. Wow. And but that's when I knew that she was the one though. I'm like, okay, if she has that much value for herself. Yeah. Because everybody else, it wasn't a problem. Yeah. Right. But if she had that much value for herself, I'm like, okay, I need to match that value of what I'm bringing to the table now too. Yeah. Yeah.
What did she graduate with?
The same degree as me. We both graduated with child development.
Oh, nice.
It was the easiest way for me to graduate. So I literally went to the people who was like, hey, I want to graduate in 3.5 years. Gotcha. I got 3 semesters left, or I think I got 4 semesters left. Yeah. What's the easiest way for me to graduate?
Well, it's great that you guys are college sweethearts, and then in your NFL career, going through the season of club, and did you get married after that season or before?
Yeah, I got married after that season, and it was a tough season for her, to be honest. But for her to stick it through, we were growing apart quickly, not even slowly, quickly.
Because you're here in Dallas and she's in.
No, she was here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was here. So, but I just had a lot of maturing to do. Yeah.
Glad she was patient, man.
Yeah, she was patient, man. She the one.
Kids?
Yeah, I got 3 kids, all girls, and another girl on the way.
On the way.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, baby.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's crazy.
Super congrats, man. So when you guys, how do you and your wife talk about money? How do you guys joint? Are you guys separate? How do you guys manage goals and dreams together?
Yeah. So if it's big decisions, me and her sit down and talk to him about it. But, so my wife, our setup is she is a stay-at-home mom. So that's her business.
That's great.
Right.
That's a very good business.
I mean, it's a great business, and it's a lot of work. You know, it's a hard business.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm aware of that. So I'm not like, we don't ever really anymore go at it like, oh, I'm the only one, blah, blah, blah. And she don't really do that anymore either.
Yeah.
Right. Because she know that our balance is perfect for us.
Yeah.
Right. So she get to care for our kids. I wouldn't want anybody else caring for our kids because she's a really, really good mom.
Yeah.
So she get to care for our kids, raise them how we want to raise them, and not how another babysitter or daycare or even school. We go to good schooling, but how they want to raise them, and I get to go and provide, right? Yeah. So it's more of like, it's very biblical, right?
Sure.
Our relationship when it comes to how we balance things. Yeah. And I'm not saying, I think that's the best way, right, to have things biblical. I don't think that, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but, the man should always be a provider. It don't have to be about finances.
You're not going to have any qualms with me on that one. 100%.
Right. But it don't only have to, like, a provider isn't only finances, but the woman should never, step into that provider role, in my opinion. I think that's when things start to grow shaky, right? Yeah. But the big purchases, me and her talk about, she have, more than 50% say in the big purchases, right? I mean, I use her gifts because women gifts is their feelings and their emotions, so they can
their discernment.
Right. So they can see different issues than what we can see because we're very like we think more and they feel more. Yeah. Right. We're very like technical. Yeah. Right. Things has to make sense from the number side of it. Yeah. But for them, like, even if the numbers make sense, like they may feel a different threat to the purchase or to the investment or whatever it is. So the big investments, me and her talk to her about it. But if it's like, so we run a real estate business together and I'm running it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if we're going and buying a house, I'll talk to her. Yeah. And make sure that she agree on it. Yeah. And then I do everything else.
And we're talking about putting an insurance side of things to that too as well. Yeah.
100%. We still got to,
we got to follow up on that one.
100%.
Get your license, man.
100%.
And by the way, why do you think life insurance or insurance fits into what you're doing? What is the correlation on your end?
Yeah. And like I told you, man, like originally, like I was approached by a few other life insurance agents and it really never really sat well with me, right? And people trying to recruit me into their firm or into their business, and it just never. It felt like more selling and stuff like that. But when I look back into the Black community, I already gave y'all the statistics on, in Grand Rapids, Black people are at the lowest, right? It's the least. Most like affordable or best place to raise a family. And I think that's because like our culture don't really have a history of setting our family up for success. Right. And I think
the financial literacy conversation isn't always
right. Yeah. And to be honest, when my grandma passed away and my uncle, back then, man, they did a great job as best as they can to be able to pass some money down to the kids. Yeah. But then what I saw after, right? So my grandma passed a few things down to her kids, and it was a decent amount of money that she saved up from her being born in the 30s. Wow. Right? It was a decent amount of money that she saved up.
Over the entire lifetime.
Right. Wow. Right. But then, like, I saw how like the next generation kind of took it over and how they managed the whole situation and made a lot of things about finances when, it should be more so focused on we just lost our right, our heart and soul to our family, and we making this thing about finances, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, it could have been a better solution to that.
Yeah.
Right? In my opinion, right?
Yeah.
So I personally got life insurance because I don't want my kids and my wife or nobody under me to have to worry about anything if I pass away, right? Because we don't know when it's our time.
Sure. And it's always
right?
unplanned.
It's always unplanned, right?
Yeah.
But it's 100% guaranteed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's
we just
gonna
know when that
happen.
guarantee is going to be called. You know?
Right, exactly.
When the Lord says, okay, you're coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason to drew me to come and chop it up with you a couple months ago.
Yeah.
About that for sure.
And I stumbled across this video. He played at University of Michigan. I think he was also a safety, but Michi Walker. Have you ever heard the story of Michi Walker?
Mm-mm.
So, Jordan, can we play the clip of Michi Walker? Let's take a look at this.
Now I'm going through like lung cancer. I have it in my jaw. I got it on my right side. I got it all on my back, man. And I'm losing my life at the same time. We don't know how long it has. It's spreading fast. I fear of dying, man. I don't want to die, especially not young. I know we all have to go someday, but I got too much to live for right now. I just turned 18. You know, I still have a lot of life ahead of me, man. I try my best every day to get up, stay strong for the family, for my son, for my brother.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's reality, bro. It's like, and sadly, he's passed away. 2022, he's passed away.
Man.
And that's why, you know, we talk about what we talk about, because the conversation that we stumble across about insurance online, it's just so toxic. I mean, it's just like, stop it, guys. Like, people and agents and advisors are arguing, that's the wrong style of insurance, that's the wrong type, blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is people just don't have life insurance, period.
Yeah. And
everybody's arguing about what style they should be having. I mean, rich people have that privilege of having a policy already in place because it's part of the conversation. But if you're out there and it's confusing a lot of people about what to get, just bottom line, just get something. And once you get something, then learn upon that.
Right.
You know, get financial
100%.
101 and life insurance 101, life insurance 202, and build on it. So yeah, I'm glad that you're seeing that, you know, life insurance has a big way. We were interviewing Master P. He goes, you want to solve the problem in the hood? Everybody at the youngest ages you can, buy a $50 a month policy. Then depending on your age, the younger you are, the more you can get. $50 a month for a lot of people can get $1 million policy, term insurance, right? And just like the insurance companies are just daring you to buy life insurance.
Right.
So,
right.
You know,
right.
What's your reaction to that?
I mean, that was, that hit me. Yeah, that hit me. Yeah.
Never got to see his son, and his son, is going to see his dad only through, YouTube, for right now. So, but that's every man's responsibility, right?
100%.
To take care.
100%. To take care of your family, man.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why we go out and work so hard. But, in the process of doing all that stuff, what we doing, we putting a lot of stress on our body, right?
Yeah.
Playing football, I put a lot of stress on my body.
Yeah.
Right. And moving around and working as fast as ambitious as we do, right? Mm-hmm. You still adding some more stress to your body. So regardless, I want to make sure at least my family is good.
Yeah.
And then with that policy that I have, their kid, if they invested and I'm gonna teach them about that when they get to the right age. Yeah. But if they invest that right, they kids is gonna be good. It
compounds,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right, exactly. So that's my goal. And that's what I do, and that's why I got the policy that I got. Yeah. But that information needs to be spreaded.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, there's a saying that says somebody today is sitting in the shade because somebody decided to plant a tree 20 years ago. Mm. People think this is instant wealth. Yeah. I mean, wealth is built up over time. Yeah. You know that as an entrepreneur.
100%.
This next video I want to share with you is Kobe's advice to high school players. because he's having to sit down with him, talk to them. So let's play that clip of what Kobe said to these young basketball players. I think even LeBron's in his video.
I went to ABCD camp, and he came and talked to all the kids that was there, and I was just listening. I was just trying to soak everything up I could.
You sit down, because I'm tired as hell. Going to clubs, doing all this stuff. You know, although it might sound fun to you guys now, man, that's not the important thing, man. The important thing is find a woman that you can spend the rest of your life with, man, setting up a family. And that makes me happy, man. Some guys might be different, but that makes me happy. That's not soft. I was in the court, I will wear your ass out.
So what do you think about his advice there to these young players?
I mean, I think that's the most powerful advice. I think that's the most powerful advice.
You got money, power, fame, influence. That can confuse a man, though.
You know, and it draws the wrong type of women too, as well too. So finding that one early, as soon as you can. If you find her, keep her, right? Yeah. Don't engage in. Man, that's why, you know, sex is talked about. Sexual impurity is talked about so much throughout the New Testament.
Yes.
Really throughout the Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's talked about so much because God knew long time ago that, right, that's going to be one of our biggest temptation, man or women, right? He knew that's going to be, and he knew that that's how the devil was going to attack us a long time ago. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, that was a powerful advice, is finding that woman and keeping her, right? And just you and her.
That's right.
And then create a family.
That's right.
Yeah, 100%.
I could see God up there, you know, putting man together and say, okay, just perfect creation. All right, send him to earth. Let's see him do. Oh, damn, I messed something up. Let me send can I get a recall? I can get a recall. Okay, let me send my son Jesus. And you got to teach him now. But sometimes people get the wrong message with pastors and preachers. So I want to take a look at this clip here with Kenneth Copeland. He was approached here. We'll take a look at this because he's a TV evangelist. Something that throws a lot of people off in terms of faith and have a relationship with Christ. So, let's take a look at this clip.
How are you, sir? We'd just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial. Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
No, listen to me just a second. Not the people. The main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. That's really the main.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid... You kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
Certainly.
Why did you just say it?
If you'd like to come out here, I'd like to give you a chance to catch your breath and have a conversation. We don't want to catch you off guard.
I love Inside Edition. You got to get this now. Hey, you listening to me? My wife thinks Inside Edition is, oh yeah. Now, thank you, Lord. Help me. Let me pray this.
Well, let me just ask you a really simple question. A lot of people think it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets. What's your response to that?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do.
I agree.
We have brought over 100, let's see, the latest figures just came out, 122 million people to the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me give you another example. Last May, I was scheduled for Lagos, Nigeria. That's a long ways. I had a week off, and I was scheduled for Peru.
We can stop here. We can stop here. But I think people get the point. You know, I mean, you're a man of faith. Yeah, I think if people check out your Instagram, you're also teaching the word. Yeah. Well, what, from your perspective in your life experience, what do you think people get wrong with either pastors or religion or church when it actually should be a relationship with Christ?
100%. And I'm cool with a lot of big time pastors in the Dallas area. Sure.
There's a lot of good ones out here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot, man. And I'm cool. I've developed relationships with a few of them, and
a lot of them are entrepreneurs.
And one thing that God say, and people miss this point, is God says, seek the kingdom first, then all things will be added
unto you.
Right? So if we judging these guys who is seeking the kingdom first and leading so many people to Christ, now, like, our alignment is out of line, because we shouldn't be judging anybody. We should be talking to God.
Yeah.
Right. And God also says vengeance is for me.
Yeah.
So if they doing wrong, God is going to correct it, right?
Sure.
He going to correct it.
Right.
So, I don't really spend time engaging in, I hear a lot of people say, I don't go to the church because the pastor drive this. I'm doing my part by tithing. I'm not tithing to this person.
Yeah.
I'm tithing because that's what God asked me to do, to trust him with my finances.
Right. It's your stewardship responsibility to give. It's also the church's stewardship responsibility what to do with it.
Right.
But that's out of your control now.
Exactly. That's on their control now.
Right. Yeah.
And if they doing wrong, it's going to be right.
Yeah.
Right. But God going to make it right. But it's not my responsibility to judge somebody. Right. Because he could have had 20 speaking engagements where they pay him to come out and speak.
Sure.
Right? His money could have came from his book sales or something like that, right?
Sure.
Right, because that's where a lot of pastors make a lot of money from their book sales or speaking engagements throughout the week and stuff like that. So,
as they should.
Right. Especially if they doing the most important thing that we called to do here on this earth, is serving people and leading people to Christ.
Yeah.
And that is serving people because they're going to be saved.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, a lot of people talk about being the prosperity gospel. If you're looking at the Bible, it is going to help you become prosperous.
100%.
It's not a prosperity gospel.
100%.
I wrote an article to wrap up. I wrote an article 10, 15 years ago. It was called, Would Jesus Wear a Rolex? And my answer was yes. Of course he wear a Rolex. And why do you think the Roman soldiers are casting lots for his robe? Mm-hmm. It was like the Armani, it was like the ish suit of the day because it was of one weave. It wasn't sections of cloth put together. It was the suit of the day. Mm-hmm. And that's why they were casting lots. His inner garment, it just describes there in Scripture. And who did Jesus recruit to begin with? He recruited an entrepreneur. He recruited Peter.
He did.
He had a business.
Yep.
He was rich.
Yep.
He had a lot of money, a lot of influence.
He recruited Peter. He recruited Matthew. Matthew worked with money.
Yeah, that's
and stuff. He was a tax collector.
Right.
So
and set him straight.
Yeah, I do agree to a sense, but I do also think that because God says in the Bible as well, don't worry about what you eat or drink. Don't worry about the clothes that you put on your body. Obviously people would have gave him nice clothes to wear because he's the king.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody would have gave him a Rolex and he would have put that thing on, but that wouldn't. In my opinion, that wouldn't be something that he was seeking to go get. But
and if he needed to give it up, he'd give up in an instant.
He would have gave it up easily.
He's not validated by a damn Rolex.
Exactly.
That's the point of my article.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we need to do a part 2 of this, man. Kavon, where can people do business? Where can people find to do business with you? Because I know you got performance health and wellness. Where can people connect with you?
Yeah, so the business is called Built For It. So just BUILT, the number 4, .com. And then, official _ Built For It on social media. And then, y'all can always hit me up too. Sure. I usually get back to everybody that reach out to me.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And maybe when I do my next Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey event, man, you're my featured
Come on, let's
guest,
do it.
Man.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
We're going to put all the links in the description here with Kavon's work, where you can find him, Instagram, everything here in the description column below. We appreciate you watching this episode of the 7 Figure Squad podcast, where faith meets finance and entrepreneurship to help you think like a millionaire, strategize like a millionaire, so therefore one day you could be a first-generation cash flow millionaire just like Kavon too, and following the word. That being said, we want you to shine your light, baby. That being said, make sure you subscribe, hit like, and drop your comments below. You agree with us? You don't agree with us? And by the way, if you watched it to the entirety, at the bottom, put gotcha. And whoever puts gotcha in the comment section, because you watched this episode to the entirety, I'm going to send you a book from my studio to your address if you put the title or the comment gotcha in the comment section below. That being said, Kavon, appreciate you stopping by.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much.
Continue to live smart. Continue to love smart. And be money smart today. See you next week. Bye-bye.